I'm Mason Mount. You're listening to the London is Blue podcast.
Which is a great segue into the less exciting topic that we previewed 6 minutes ago, is that Chelsea
It's the long build. That's what it is.
True.
We're teasing.
Chelsea conceded 3 goals today. Not great. We've conceded quite a few. Conceded off a corner kick again. Conceded a penalty. And then you lose some late in the match as well, right? So then you kind of have to deal with that part of it all. So let's go back to Naz. He tweeted, "It would be a bit reductive to blame set pieces, though, for poor defending today. Chelsea conceded 22 shots to Salzburg, 10 on target." That's a busy day for a goalkeeper. Dan, we've talked about, well, I don't know how much we have, but I think people are less confident in the center back pairing than maybe we thought we would be at this point. I think a lot of people are hot on Zuma. I think a lot of people were, obviously trust in Luiz. We knew Rudiger was going to be out at the beginning of the season, but just kind of, react to the amount of goals we've kind of given up through this entire preseason.
Yeah, I think there's one thing that makes me happy and then two things that I have questions about. One that makes me happy is that Kepa made some awesome reaction saves today. We could have shipped a couple more goals, but he stood up in some pretty good ways. Obviously, the penalty, it was unfortunate that he couldn't kind of make the right call there, but he did have some good quick reaction shots and managed to put the box together pretty well. The more concerning things, I think, one, N'Golo Kante is still not back. I think the moment you plug N'Golo Kante in next to either Jorginho or Kovacic, this defense immediately gets 1,000 times better. He is the world-class player on our side at the moment. It used to be Eden Hazard and N'Golo Kante, and then you'd look for who the third world-class player is on Chelsea, and you kind of have to figure out, how do I justify who that third one is? N'Golo Kante is our world-class player, and when he is not in front of that defense, bad things are going to happen. And we have not broken the cycle of understanding that when N'Golo Kante isn't there, that you have to maybe be a little bit more attentive, be a little bit more engaged, be a little bit more plugged in. The other concerning piece is the set pieces. It's been a constant theme throughout the entirety of the preseason. It was a constant theme all of last season, and it was also a constant theme, Nick, under Frank Lampard's Derby County. So I think there are some things to be excited about, like our goalkeeper, but I think with N'Golo Kante not being back and set piece defending still being very questionable, those are things that have to get shored up pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean the problem, N'Golo is fine in open play, but he's not a set piece defender. He's all of five or six. I mean, it's up to the Zumas of the world and the David Luizes of the world and any other player with height like Tammy to do the role of defending the box, of not letting really easy passes go by you. I mean, there's a kind of school of thought out there, and I think Pat Nevin brought this up on our show when he was on, that set piece defending is a lot of will and not a lot of skill. It's not getting beaten by your man as he heads in to crash on the ball. It's staying attentive to who's in front of you and who's behind you. Some of this stuff isn't hard, but it does take focus, and it's really just bodying up your guy. We saw that the zonal marking thing last year, Brandon, didn't work. The Premier League is too fast, too powerful, and a lot of guys have jumping ability. So zonal marking is going to be tough here. But what scares me is that we're manning up and we're still not getting it done.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's an even, like you said, a bigger concern. We talked about Zuma being in. That'd be a huge aerial, defensive stalwart. I mean, I'm not blaming him, but I'm just saying it's not, the things that we thought on paper aren't happening. I can only imagine how frustrating this makes Frank. Something that you'd assume is more or less a preventable thing is continuously being a weak point in the team. So, I don't know, maybe he looks at it and says, hey, we can fix this. All right, we got this. But, as fans, you have to sit here and go, hey, I see a pattern. This thing keeps happening. Like, we don't like it. And, it's just up to them and the team to figure it out. If you want to give a little bit of leeway, right, I think you can say that there's been a lot of different people back there. There's been different goalkeepers. And so kind of with that being said, if you want to, again, you can kind of lean on that as a thing. But it's definitely going to be an area that we're going to watch and be concerned because, you have to have a tight defensive group that can post shutouts and give the team a chance to win. I don't think we'll be scoring 5 every single match, but it's good to see that we're scoring multiple every match. So I think with that, we should go ahead and review our starting lineups from that extra pod we did with George Benson, and we can talk about who we think is going to start. And we'll kind of keep this as a running segment until we get there and see how it goes. So refresher, I'll lead it off. I have Kepa in goal, and then I have Aspie, Zuma, Luiz, Emerson as my back 4. My holding 2 are Conte and Jorginho. I'm gambling on Conte. And then I've got Pulisic on the left, Barkley in the number 10, Pedro on the right, and Giroud up top. Giroud didn't play today, but I'm sticking with him. So I'm going to keep my lineup 100% the same. Dan, what was your lineup?
So I had Kepa, Azpilicueta, Luis, Zuma, Emerson, Conte, Jorginho. So we were in lockstep there, Brandon, along with Pulisic and Pedro were in both of our lineups. The only difference was Mount and Mishi. I think I will acquiesce to the fact that Barkley is the number 10 heading into the start of the season. And I think just given the fact that Tammy had some decent hold-up play, obviously wanted to score a goal, I think there's a lot of trust that Frank is putting in him. And when you look at where the rest of the youth is in that lineup, there's not a ton in it, right? So it seems like if he's going to trust one youth player heading into Old Trafford, it might be Tammy Abraham. And that would be pretty exciting to see if he could make something happen.
Well, I have much much less faith in the youth than I guess, but I think today was a really good run out for Tammy. I think it was a competitive match. The Salzburg team are in their season form now, so he's facing defenders who are well drilled at this point. I didn't see a lot, if I'm honest. I think he was late getting into the box. I think he needs to work on the touch and go kind of movement because he is quick. It seems like it takes a little while to get the engine revved up. So my lineup last week, which I was only one off of today, was Kepa, Aspie, Zuma, Luis, Emerson, Kovacic, Jorginho, because I don't think Conte is going to be ready, and I will not risk anything with that guy. We need him for the season. This Old Trafford game is not that important. Pulisic, Barkley, Pedro, front 3, or middle 3, and then Giroud up top. Old Trafford is made for Giroud to play. We need the hold-up play. We need him to be able to pass in behind to Pulisic and Pedro, who are going to make darting runs. I feel really confident as of today that Giroud doesn't have that much to prove against Salzburg. He doesn't. Tammy still does. Mishi still does. I would almost, I'm willing to feel very confident today that Giroud is our starting striker on the first game of the season.
So you're keeping it the same as well?
Exact same.
Okay.
Yep.
So,
I like what I've seen, by the way, from our little Jorginho Kovacic pivot. I think they've played really well.
Right. Look, I think someone on Twitter was like, wow, 40 million for Kovacic looks like a steal right now. I think, yeah, it might turn out to be good business. What a great thing that'd be.
Don't you love the phrase 40 million for someone? What a steal.
Jeez. What a world that is. I have no understanding of what that's like. All right. So let's go ahead and wind down a little bit. We had a man of the match, a Dan of the match, whatever you want to call it. Dan, you had 4 options in a poll on Twitter. What happened?
Yeah, so Barkley, Kovacic, Pedro, Pulisic were our 4 options for the poll, and no surprise, Ross, the boss, 51% of the overall vote, Kovacic with 2%, Pedro with 4%, and Pulisic in a respectable second place with 43% of the vote. but he won the Electoral College, so he is the Dan of the match.
I think this is right. I think Barkley slightly behind him, Pulisic, and then I think Pedro should have at least 10% just for the goal alone. I mean, it's outrageous.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so spoiled on that stuff. That is ridiculous. It was a great day today to go ahead and run it by. So you have a footnote here, Dan, about a goal for one Michy Batshuayi.
Yeah, Mids for Michy got the most bungled goal of the entire match, and I credit to him though for just standing up and keeping going and trying to make sure that he can convert the action. But he definitely, I thought it was struck with so much power that it was going to rip through the top of the netting. He definitely struck that thing really, really hard, and thankfully was the beneficiary of some poor goalkeeping at the near the end of the match.
The replay, looking at his form, you can't hit a ball better than that. I mean, it was just pure. And to be fair, like, I think that is a little bit of what Tammy's missing, where I think Tammy has some characteristics that Michy doesn't. You don't worry as much about Michy when he's in the box finding something as a gift and finishing it. You worry about Michy when he has too much time to think about something and not finishing it. You know, if he's in a poacher's mode, he's the best poacher on the team by a country mile. And, you know, that's the exciting part about Michy is even if he's on for 20 minutes and something just falls in his lap, you're like, oh, okay, cool. Bam. You know, I'm on. And Tammy doesn't show me that. And I'm not even that down on him. I just think he has to gel with the team a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair though, Dan, I think the most bundled goal goes to Salzburg on their third.
I mean, that's valid.
Yeah, that was bad too. There's too much positivity. Like shipping a goal at like the very end of a preseason friendly that we've now substituted out the vast majority of the side, and Zappacosta gives up a penalty, and like all this other garbage. Like, I just want to stick into the fact Barkley was amazing. Like, stock is absolutely on the rise. Like, Mad Money Kramer, like, buy, slam button going on. You have Pulisic just basically Captain Americaing it the entire time that he's on the pitch. And, like, those are and Pedro just scores an absolute wonder goal. Like, I'm not bothered about, you know, some crazy end of the match goal that gets bungled.
Those fans got their money today.
Yeah.
They got their money's worth. And that's really great. I mean, that's what these little preseason friendlies are for. Like, you do it for a training exercise, but you know the fact that they were also entertained and not in a 0-0 situation at half had to be enlightening.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, well, you know what? That is going to wrap us up. Listeners, thank you for hanging out with us again. And don't worry, it's a new month, so you can't be sick of us anymore.
900 episodes into this season, and it's only been 1 month.
But thank you for making this one of the most successful months in London's Blue history.
True.
Yes.
We don't like to talk numbers a whole lot, but we'll just say that this was our best ever month on record this July. And we are excited. So many new people have found us. We're excited for all the Pulisic fans who have joined us. We're excited for everybody who's returning to Chelsea this season, maybe after being bored off a little bit the tail end of last season. So, man, jump in. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, and like Dan put this out on Friendship Day or whatever the other day. We have kept the party line the entire time that we've done this show of just trying to be reasonable, just trying to have a conversation with people. And, you know, in a world of hot takes and Twitter yelling, you know, I think there is refuge in our show to be serious about it, to have a little fun with it, and to never get too high or too low. And if there was ever a case for that, it was when we talked to our friend, the Tottenham fan, in our season preview. And despite not winning anything, rated their season a 9, whereas we won a major European trophy, and the highest that we had on our list of 4 people was an 8, and that was Brandon talking himself into it. So
it's a rounding error.
Yeah, you know. So we just hope to be reasonable. We hope to, you know, keep people engaged in the right way and not be bored off by all the lunatics just yelling into the void. So if you have a friend out there who's like, hey, I don't want to be bored off by the lunatics yelling into the void, hang out with us.
Absolutely. And like I said, this isn't about us talking to you. It is very much about us just having open dialogue. So huge shout out to Dan for taking on Twitter, Mike on Instagram, myself and Nick on email and Facebook and Patreon, everything it is in Discord. It's all just more ways for us to communicate with other fans out there. So again, we're here to create as many Chelsea fans and retain as many as we can. And we just want one huge, amazing community to be a part of. And we couldn't do it without all of you listening. So we're a little sentimental tonight, but we promise we'll lock it up next time. So that'll wrap it up this time, Chelsea fans. Again, thank you so much for listening. We really do appreciate it. Until next time, Chelsea fans, you know what to do. Keep the blue flag flying high.